The billionaire's fiancé called security on the maid, and then her toddler recognized one guest. Security had already reached the ballroom doors when the little girl screamed, "Mommy, that's him." Every head turned. The crystal chandeliers above the Harrington mansion glittered over 200 guests, gold dinner plates, white roses, champagne towers, and the kind of silence that only rich people know how to create when someone poor is being humiliated. Near the dessert table, Amora Cole stood frozen in a black and white maid uniform, one hand holding her 4-year-old daughter close, the other still trembling from where the bride-to-be had grabbed her wrist. Amora was 31, a black single mother with deep dark skin, tired brown eyes, and the quiet strength of a woman who had swallowed more pain than most people ever saw. Her daughter, Nia, clung to her skirt with one small hand. In the other hand, the child held a worn pink teddy bear. Across from them stood Vanessa Whitmore, the billionaire's fiancée, shining in a silver designer gown, diamonds around her neck, and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. "She stole my bracelet," Vanessa announced. A gasp moved through the room. Amora's eyes filled. "I didn't touch your bracelet." Vanessa lifted her chin. "Then why was it in your service cart?" Two security guards stepped closer. "Please," Amora whispered. "My daughter is scared." Vanessa looked down at Nia. "Then maybe you should have thought about that before bringing a child to a private engagement dinner." At the center of the ballroom, billionaire CEO Lucas Harrington stood completely still. He had not moved since Vanessa accused the maid. He knew Amora only as temporary staff. Or at least, that was what he believed. Then Nia looked past Vanessa. Past security. Past the shocked guests. Her little eyes locked on an elderly man sitting at the VIP table. A man with silver hair, a black cane, and a face that suddenly went pale. Nia lifted her teddy bear and pointed at him. "Mommy," she whispered. "That's the man from the hospital picture." The elderly guest froze. Lucas turned slowly. Amora's breath caught in her throat. Vanessa's smile vanished. Because that guest was not just any guest. He was Judge Robert Whitmore, Vanessa's father. And no one in that ballroom knew yet that 5 years earlier, he had signed the lie that erased Lucas Harrington's daughter from his life. The Harrington estate sat outside Atlanta, behind black iron gates and rows of magnolia trees. It was the kind of mansion people photographed from the road even though security warned them not to stop. White stone walls, marble balconies, tall windows, and a ballroom so large it made every voice sound important. But the house had never felt warm. Lucas Harrington was 38, the owner of Harrington Global Hotels, and one of the richest men in the South. People called him disciplined, calm, impossible to shake. They did not know he had once been shaken so badly that he never learned how to stand straight again inside his own heart. 5 years earlier, before the magazine covers and charity galas, Lucas had loved a woman named Amora Cole. She was working nights at a small Harrington hotel near the airport while finishing nursing classes during the day. He had met her during a storm when the lobby ceiling started leaking and half the guests were shouting. Amora had stood on a chair with a bucket in her hand and said, "Sir, your luxury hotel is raining indoors." Lucas had laughed. Really laughed. For 1 week, he kept finding reasons to visit that hotel. Coffee at midnight. A broken elevator inspection. A meeting that could have been anywhere but somehow happened in that lobby. Amora made him feel human. Before he left for New York, Lucas gave her a small silver heart locket that had belonged to his mother. Inside was a photo of his mother holding him as a baby. "My mother said love should always have a safe place," he told Amora. Amora tried to give it back. Lucas closed her fingers around it. "Keep it until I come back." But he never came back. At least, not to her. His calls stopped reaching her. Her letters came back unopened. Then an attorney representing the Harrington family told Amora that Lucas wanted no contact and that any claim against him would be handled publicly and aggressively. 2 months later, Amora learned she was pregnant. She tried again. No answer. She went to the hotel. Security escorted her out. When Nia was born, Amora listed no father because fear had become louder than hope. But she kept one photograph. Lucas and Amora standing outside the airport hotel after the rain, his jacket over her shoulders, her hand holding the silver locket. On the back, Lucas had written, "When I forget who I am, remind me I was happy here." Nia found the photograph when she was 3. "Who is this man?" she asked. Amora's voice broke. "Someone Mommy knew." "Why does he look like me?" Amora could not answer. So Nia kept the photo inside her teddy bear's little zipped pocket, because children believe important things should sleep close to something soft. That same teddy bear was now in her hands at the Harrington engagement dinner. And the man she recognized was the reason that photograph had once almost disappeared forever. Vanessa Whitmore had planned the dinner as a perfect public display. She wanted investors, family friends, donors, judges, society women, and board members all in one room to see Lucas Harrington finally choosing her. Vanessa was beautiful, polished, and careful. She knew when to laugh, when to touch Lucas's arm, when to look humble for cameras, and when to remind staff they were beneath her without ever sounding impolite. She had one fear: the past. 2 months before the engagement dinner, while helping prepare legal papers for the wedding trust, Vanessa found an old sealed file in her father's study. Amora Cole. Pregnancy claim. Contact suppressed. Settlement refused. Child status unknown. Along with it was a hospital photo of Amora holding a newborn baby girl. On the edge of that photo stood Judge Robert Whitmore, younger then, signing documents at the hospital with Lucas's late father. Vanessa should have told Lucas. Instead, she kept the file. Because if Amora's daughter was Lucas's child, then Vanessa was not just in danger of losing a wedding. She was in danger of losing everything. So when Amora's name appeared on the staffing list for the engagement dinner, Vanessa did not remove her. She requested her. She wanted Amora in the room. Close enough to watch. Close enough to break. Close enough to discredit before she ever spoke. The first warning came in the service hallway. Amora was arranging water glasses when Vanessa entered wearing her silver gown, her perfume filling the narrow space like poison covered in flowers. "You look familiar," Vanessa said. Amora lowered her eyes. "I've worked a few Harrington hotel events." "No," Vanessa said softly. "That isn't why." Amora's hands stilled. Vanessa stepped closer. "Do you know who Lucas is marrying?" Amora looked up slowly. "Yes." "Good. Then understand something. Tonight is not the night for sad stories." Amora's throat tightened. "I'm here to work." "And your child?" "My babysitter cancelled. Mrs. Ellis said she could stay in the staff room." Vanessa smiled. "Children never stay where poor mothers put them." Amora's face hardened. "Please don't speak about my daughter." Vanessa's eyes sharpened. "Then do not use her." Before Amora could answer, Nia appeared in the doorway holding her teddy bear. Vanessa looked at the little girl's face. For 1 second, fear flashed across her eyes. Not anger. Fear. Because Nia had Lucas's eyes. Vanessa looked away quickly and whispered, "Keep her out of my ballroom." But Nia had already seen something. She saw Vanessa's father standing at the end of the hall, speaking quietly to a security guard. Judge Robert Whitmore. The man from the hospital photo inside her teddy bear. Nia tugged Amora's apron. "Mommy, why is the hospital man here?" Amora went cold. "What?" But Vanessa clapped her hands loudly, and the moment disappeared beneath music, guests, and orders. Dinner began at 7. Lucas stood near the fireplace in a black tuxedo, greeting guests with the calm face of a man trained to hide every emotion. Vanessa glowed beside him, silver gown catching the light, her hand resting possessively on his arm. Amora entered with a tray of champagne. She tried not to look at Lucas. But Lucas looked at her. At first, his eyes passed over her like she was part of the room. Then they returned. Recognition struck him slowly. The line of her jaw. The way she carried herself. The sadness she tried to hide behind professionalism. "Amora," he said softly. The tray in her hand shook. Vanessa's fingers tightened around his sleeve. Amora lowered her eyes. "Good evening, Mr. Harrington." Mr. Harrington. The words hit him harder than they should have. Vanessa laughed lightly. "She's temporary staff, darling. Please don't make her nervous." But Lucas did not smile. He kept staring. Have we met recently? Amora's lips parted. Before she could answer, Vanessa stepped between them. Lucas, Senator Miles is waiting. As Vanessa guided him away, her face stayed sweet for the guests. But her eyes told Amora one thing. Say one word, and I will destroy you. For the next hour, Vanessa watched her. Every time Amora crossed the ballroom, Vanessa's gaze followed. Every time Nia peeked from the staff doorway, Vanessa's jaw tightened. Then the bracelet vanished. It was a diamond tennis bracelet Vanessa had been showing to every guest all evening. My wedding gift from Lucas, she said again and again, though Lucas had not chosen it. His assistant had. Halfway through dessert service, Vanessa touched her wrist and gasped. My bracelet. Music softened. Guests turned. Vanessa looked around dramatically, then her eyes landed on Amora's service cart. Check there. Amora froze. Mrs. Ellis, the old housekeeper, stepped forward. Miss Whitmore, perhaps you misplaced it. Vanessa's voice turned cold. I said check there. A security guard opened the lower shelf of the cart. The bracelet glittered on a folded napkin. The room inhaled. Amora stared at it. No, she whispered. I didn't put that there. Vanessa's expression filled with fake sorrow. How embarrassing. Nia ran to her mother's side. Mommy didn't steal. Vanessa looked down at the child. Sweetheart, you don't know what adults do when they want rich men to notice them. Lucas stepped forward. Vanessa. She lifted a hand, tears appearing too perfectly. I hate scenes, Lucas, but your staff member stole from me at our engagement dinner. I didn't, Amora said, voice breaking. Vanessa looked at security. Escort her out. The guards moved. Nia began to cry. Don't take Mommy. Amora pulled her close. It's okay, baby. I'm here. But it was not okay. The room was full of powerful people, and no one moved. Then Nia looked toward the VIP table again. Judge Robert Whitmore was staring at her teddy bear. Not at her. At the bear. As if he knew something was hidden inside. Nia remembered Grandma Ruth saying, pictures remember when grown-ups lie. She pulled the small zipper open. The old photo slid into her hand. Vanessa saw it and lunged forward. Nia, give that to me. Lucas turned sharply. Why? Vanessa froze. Nia backed into her mother's skirt and held up the photograph. Mommy, she whispered. That's him. Everyone looked. Nia pointed at Judge Whitmore. That's the hospital man. The judge's face drained. Lucas looked at him. What does she mean? Nia held the photo higher. He was there when I was a baby. The room went silent. Lucas stepped toward the child. May I see it? Nia looked at Amora. Amora was trembling now, but she nodded. Lucas took the photograph. The first thing he saw was Amora in a hospital bed, younger, exhausted, holding a newborn baby girl wrapped in a pink blanket. The second thing he saw was himself. Not physically in the photo. In the baby's face. The eyes. The brow. The same little crease he had as a child. Then he saw Judge Whitmore in the background, signing something beside Lucas's father. Lucas looked up slowly. Why are you in this photo? Judge Whitmore opened his mouth. No words came. Vanessa rushed in. Lucas, this is manipulation. She probably carries that photo to every rich man's house. Amora flinched. Nia's face crumpled. My mommy doesn't trick. Lucas looked at Vanessa. How did you know there was a photo? Vanessa went still. That question changed everything. Mrs. Ellis stepped forward from the wall, pale but determined. Mr. Harrington, she said, there is a file in your father's old study. I found Miss Whitmore looking through it last month. Vanessa spun toward her. Be quiet. Mrs. Ellis shook her head. I've been quiet long enough. Lucas's voice dropped. Bring it. Vanessa grabbed his sleeve. Lucas, don't do this here. He pulled away. You called security here. A murmur moved through the guests. For the first time, shame entered the ballroom. Mrs. Ellis returned with a leather folder tied with black ribbon. Judge Whitmore stood halfway, then sat again when Lucas looked at him. Inside the folder were returned letters. Letters from Amora. A hospital discharge form. A legal notice. A payment offer marked refused. And one handwritten note from Lucas's father. Cole woman delivered a girl. Whitmore handled hospital paperwork. Lucas must not be contacted. Lucas read it once. Then again. The room blurred. Amora covered her mouth. I tried, she whispered. I wrote. I called. They told me you didn't want us. Lucas's voice broke. I never knew. Vanessa whispered. Lucas. He ignored her. He opened one of the letters. Lucas, I don't know if this will reach you. I had a baby girl. Her name is Nia Rose. She has your eyes. Your father's attorney says you want nothing to do with us. If that's true, I won't beg. But I need you to know I never took money. I never stopped loving you. Lucas lowered the letter. His eyes were wet. For 5 years, he had believed Amora disappeared. For 5 years, Amora had believed he rejected his own child. And standing between those lies was Vanessa, wearing diamonds and calling security. Lucas turned to Judge Whitmore. You signed this. The judge looked suddenly old. Your father asked me to protect the family. You erased a child. I was told it was best. Nia whispered, I'm not erased. Lucas closed his eyes. When he opened them, his face had changed. No, he said gently. You are not. Vanessa tried to recover, tears spilling down her face. I was protecting our future. Lucas looked at her. You hid my daughter. I didn't know for sure. You framed her mother. She brought this into our home. She was serving champagne. Vanessa's face twisted. You are choosing a maid and her child over me. Lucas looked at Amora's shaking hands. Then at Nia holding the teddy bear like a shield. Then at the old photo. You didn't need to know who they were to treat them like human beings. No one spoke. Lucas removed the engagement ring from Vanessa's finger. He did not yank it. He did not shout. He simply took back the symbol of a wedding built on silence. This engagement is over. Vanessa stared at him. You can't do this. You already did. Security waited for his order. Lucas turned to them. Escort Miss Whitmore and Judge Whitmore out of my home. Quietly. Vanessa looked around for help. But the guests who had watched security approach a crying mother now stared at the floor. They had seen enough. As Vanessa walked out, Nia whispered, Mommy, did I do bad? Amora dropped to her knees and held her daughter tightly. No, baby. You told the truth. Lucas knelt near them, slow and careful. Nia, he said softly, you were very brave. She looked at him with wet eyes. Are you mad at Mommy? No. At me. His voice broke. Never. She held up the teddy bear. Bear kept the picture safe. Lucas almost smiled through tears. Then Bear did a very important job. After the guests left, Harrington Mansion felt awake for the first time in years. The bracelet had been removed from the service cart. The champagne glasses were cleared. The ballroom flowers still stood untouched, beautiful and useless. Amora sat in the small library with Nia asleep against her side, the teddy bear still tucked under the child's arm. Lucas stood across from them with the file on the table. I need to say this before anything else, he said. Amora looked up, exhausted. I will not take her from you. Her face crumpled. Lucas stepped closer, then stopped, giving her space. You raised her. You protected her. Whatever a test says, you are her mother. That will never be used against you. Amora covered her mouth. I was afraid, she whispered. People like you don't have to fight to be believed. Lucas accepted that. You're right. So I'll put it in writing before anything else happens. Nia stirred. Mommy. I'm here. She looked at Lucas. Is the mean lady gone? Yes, Lucas said gently. Is Mommy safe? Lucas looked at Amora. Then at the old photograph. She will be. The weeks that followed were careful. DNA confirmed what Lucas already felt in his bones. Nia Rose Cole was his daughter. But Lucas did not call reporters. He did not turn Nia's pain into a public redemption story. He met with Amora, lawyers, and a child therapist and asked what would protect Nia most. Amora answered, slow. So slow became the rule. Nia stayed with Amora. Lucas visited first at the park, then at Amora's small apartment, where he sat at a tiny kitchen table and listened while Nia explained that teddy bears are better at keeping secrets than grown-ups. He learned she hated peas, loved moon stickers, and believed big houses should have more blankets. You think so? Lucas asked one afternoon. Nia nodded seriously. Cold rooms need soft things. Lucas looked at Amora. Then back at his daughter. Then I'll have to learn. Harrington Global changed too. Lucas opened an investigation into his father's old actions. More letters were found. More payments. More people pushed away because they did not fit the Harrington image. Then he created a support program for single parents working in his hotels. Childcare, legal aid, emergency housing, paid family leave, and protection from retaliation. He asked Amora to help design it. She refused at first. I'm not your charity. I know, he said. That's why I'm asking for your leadership. She accepted only after making one rule. No using Nia's face. Lucas agreed instantly. Months later, the old photograph was framed in Lucas's study beside Nia's teddy bear. Underneath, a small plaque read, "Truth can be small and still save a family." Nia stood in front of it one afternoon, sounding out the words, "Truth can be small." Amora touched her curls. Yes. Nia looked at Lucas. Like me. Lucas's throat tightened. Exactly like you. 1 year after the engagement dinner, Harrington Mansion hosted a simple family gathering. No senators. No donors. No photographers. Just employees, their children, Mrs. Ellis crying openly into a napkin, and Nia running through the garden with her teddy bear under one arm. Amora watched from the terrace, smiling softly. Lucas came to stand beside her. She looks happy, he said. She is, Amora replied. She knows this room is safe now. They did not rush love. Real healing does not move like a wedding scene. There were hard talks, missed years, fear, anger, apologies, and days when trust felt fragile. But there was truth now. And truth gave them a beginning. Nia ran up to Lucas, holding the teddy bear. Daddy Lucas, she said, then stopped like she had surprised herself. Lucas went still. Amora's eyes filled. Nia looked worried. Is that okay? Lucas crouched and opened his arms. That is more than okay. Nia hugged him. And the billionaire who had signed million-dollar deals without blinking closed his eyes and cried into his daughter's shoulder. Security had been called to remove a maid. But the truth removed a lie instead. The bracelet Vanessa planted was meant to destroy Amora. The file she hid was meant to stay buried. The photo inside a teddy bear was supposed to be too small to matter. But cruelty has a way of exposing itself when it thinks no one important is watching. And sometimes, the person watching is a child. A child with a teddy bear. A child with an old photo. A child brave enough to recognize the one guest who helped hide her from her father. Never judge the woman serving the room. Never laugh when someone is humiliated. Never believe money gives anyone the right to erase another person's pain. Because truth may be quiet, but it always remembers the way back. If this story touched your heart, like the video, comment where you're watching from, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes small voices can change everything. And the next story begins when a billionaire's bride throws the maid's gift into the trash, not knowing the toddler already saw the name inside.